I like this. Ah, this is so different. So cute. Okay. Hey guys, my name is Olisa. Thank you so much for dropping by. Be sure to subscribe for more great content. Today's video is kind of a lot. We're doing a lot of things in this one video. We are testing new makeup because I have a couple of new products to play with and I'm very excited. So that's why I literally have nothing on my face, because we're gonna play with a couple of products that you've seen once or twice on my channel before, plus a few like brand new ones. So I'm really excited about that, as well as doing like a mini wear test in between, because I kind of accidentally baked the other day and my makeup looked so flawless for the rest of the day that I am now kind of becoming a convert to like going back to using more powder on my face. So I'm really excited to like test it out and see if it's actually worth it, if maybe baking can actually be a viable option for dry skin, you know, especially for those of us with these incredibly deep lines right underneath our eyes that just crease and like suck in all the product around it and like mess everything up. So yeah, that's what we're testing out today. So if you want to see how we go from this very simple, very like non-made up plain Jane look to like however we end up at the end of the video, then just keep watching. Okay, so my mirror is on the side, so if I do end up turning quite a bit, just forgive me for that. I'm still kind of working on my setup, and it's literally hit me just now that I need to get one of those like folding stools that rise up and like hold my makeup while I'm shooting. So yeah, it's still a work in progress. Clearly, as you can see, my background has not become 100% yet. I'm still working on everything, so just bear with me, but I really wanted to shoot this video, so here we are. My sponge is wet. I do use a black beauty blender because it is bae. Let me tell you, amazing. And I'm going to be using my black Opal Even True foundation. You know, now I'm using a ring light, so sometimes the light is just way too bright for you to actually see what I'm using. So maybe if I keep it closer to myself, you'll actually get a clearer image of what it is. But this is the Even True foundation in the shade Carob. Yes, absolutely amazing. I love the way this foundation looks. It's not my longest wearing foundation, so I don't reach for it as often as I would something else, but it does give you such a flawless base that I am obsessed with. And this is why I started with no makeup, because I've already forgotten that I wanted to start by color correcting. So these are some of the new products that I was talking about, the Maybelline Master Camo color correctors. So this is if you have like red splotchy skin, this balances that out. I don't have that. This is a little bit too light for me, so I'm going to be using this, which seems really red. The one that I usually use is the orange color corrector from LA Girl Pro Conceal. And okay, I haven't actually, as you can see, it's brand new, so I literally haven't twisted it up to see what color it actually is. So let's just it out together. Why not, you know? I've seen people use red lipstick on their dark spots, which is not advisable, but it does actually work. Finally, and yes, this is very red. So before my foundation runs all the way off my hand, I'm just going to dab this in. And since we are going to be doing a wear test of how well my concealer holds up with the baking, I think it's only fair that I do what I've been doing more regularly these days, which is the color correcting. Since that video, I literally cannot do my makeup without it. So yeah, color correcting. This is a lot more than I usually use, but that little squirt actually does go quite a long way. So I'm just going to try to blend this in, maybe reduce a little bit of it, and then we shall proceed. What the fuck? Okay, this is way too much. We're just gonna wipe this off and like do a take two, basically, because I really don't want to ruin like my clean sponge and then have to go wash it. So let me just get a wet wipe it off, we start over. Okay, so we're back to the baseline. This is take two. Do not make the same mistake that I did, because you've seen like a tiny bit goes an actual very long way. So I'm literally just going to use a dot here, and a dot here, and a dot on top, and a dot on top, and then we'll see how that goes, as I am tempted to even add more. But yeah, let me blend this. I prefer to blend color corrector with my finger, just because I feel like it spreads it out really well versus taking it everywhere where I don't really need it to be. This is so much better than it was before. So you can see that a little bit goes a very long way. And if you're going to color correct the bottom, you might as well just color correct the top, just so you have a good like baseline to start with. Even though it is pretty much straight up red, I feel like it does still complement the darkness. Like it does cancel it out quite well. So I don't really really know why I'm adding some, but I'm just going to blend this in until like I feel like the darkness is appropriately covered, and then I'm going to use this foundation before it runs all the way off my hand. So the color is looking very, very rich, but after a few minutes it will settle in and like melt into my skin tone and like calm down a bit, so just ignore that. But you can see that my face actually looks pretty damn flawless. This foundation is actually a dupe for the Black Up, like the full coverage creamy one. I feel like this gives you the exact same result, and since that one doesn't actually last on my skin for very long, and neither does this one, I would 100% recommend this one over that one. And also with the color correcting, I feel like I can still see a little bit of darkness peeking through, but it would be much worse if I hadn't color corrected. So I feel like it's working, but did I use too little corrector? Like, I'm not really sure, but let me know what you think, because I don't go into too much foundation around my eyes. Like, I just go in to even out the skin rather than like building it on and like hiding the darkness, because then when I go in with concealer, it would be like way too much. So now we're actually going to go in with concealer, and I'm using my favorite concealer. This is the Too Faced Super Coverage one, so that any darkness peeking through, it's not because I'm using too light a concealer. And you can see it is so full coverage. Even after you blend it out, the coverage is amazing. But the problem that I'm having with it is that, or rather the problem that I have with powder is that once you powder, I feel like it kind of takes away some of the coverage. Like, the darkness peeks through a lot more clearly after you've powdered it. So I kind of stepped away from like over powdering my under eyes for that reason, and also because I have very dry skin, so my under eyes also tend to be quite dry. So it becomes a bit of a mess when I powder it, or so I thought. So we're testing out today if baking is actually going to work for my dry skin, dry under eyes, lined under eyes, just all of that mess. Okay, so now that we are freshly blended, I'm just going to set this concealer so it doesn't get a chance to crease on me. But as you can see, so far everything is looking flawless and perfect. Absolutely no creasing into those lines, so I'm not even going to give it a chance to settle. I'm just going to grab my powder and really bake on this side versus just slightly dusting it on this side, and then after a couple of hours we'll compare how both sides are holding up. So I hope it's actually coming through on camera, the difference in the techniques, because this side still has powder sitting on top of it versus this side I've just literally pushed the powder into the skin and it's blended in and like melted in, and that's it, because I only use the tip of the sponge to like set it versus using the side of it to really pack on the powder. So I'm not going to do like the traditional baking where I stack it on and then leave it. So I'm just going to do this, blend this one into my skin, and then move on. And what I have noticed is that right now it looks crepey and it looks like a really dry hot mess on this side, but after a couple of hours it actually starts to look like absolutely seamless and like flawless and sunken in and beautiful. So I think I'm going to switch over to this method versus my usual light dusting, but we'll prove that today in this video, so we'll see how it holds up. My base is done. I've gone in with contour, blush, highlight, setting spray all over my face. And you can see this side where I used a little less powder, it's looking glowy and like healthy and whatever. This part where I really went ham and set it, it's still looking a bit dry, which is what I usually, like that usually sends me into a panic, because I'm like, I want my skin to be looking glowy and healthy. But in a couple of hours, it looks literally like butter. So I'm just gonna leave it at that. So the next new piece of makeup that I'm really excited about is this liner. I don't know if this is a felt tip or like, I don't know what this tip is called. This is the marker one. I don't know that. I think it's felt, because the other one is like the feather one, yeah? But I really like this. Like, the depth of color is absolutely amazing. Don't know if you can see that. This is a deeper line, like a thicker one, and then they have like, it allows for like thin strokes. I'm so impressed by this. I played around with it yesterday and it's really dark. It goes on top of eyeshadow really beautifully. So I actually really wanted to do like a more dramatic look in this video, but I hate doing dramatic looks with wing liners. So I think I'm going to simplify it just so I can actually play around with this a little bit. As well as Maybelline has these new snap mascara things, like their new mascaras, and I'm really excited to play with the blue one. So I think I'm going to sort of create a look around that and this, and then we'll be back to test out the lippies, which I'm so excited about. Like, I can't even tell you. So yeah, let me do that. so this is my first attempt at a wing in like literally a year, so don't judge if they're uneven. I know I had this one done right and then I just went in and had to add something and I've kind of messed it up. It's fine, it's not that deep, but I don't know if you can see why I'm not the biggest fan of wings. I feel like they just take over the entire eyeshadow look, which is why I used all matte shades for this look. So I have gone in with my Jackie Mgido eyeshadow palette because I'm kind of feeling a purpley vibe today. So I just use the pink and purple shades in the palette and then use a bit of black to like deepen it a little. And I'm pretty happy with the way it's turned out. So it may not look amazing right now, but with lashes and everything, it will turn out looking fantastic. I just really wanted to show you how deep and dark and black the liner is. So it goes on. You saw like it glides on so beautifully. It doesn't like tug at the eye. It doesn't like, the ink doesn't get finished and then you have to like keep shaking it to like get it back out. Granted, it is brand spanking new, but I do know a few liners that actually still have those issues even at the very beginning. So I'm really happy that this one does not. I'm just going to go in with my Iman Beauty lashes. These are hands down my favorite lashes of all life, like of all time. But before that, I am going to use the Snapscara. So I'm going to use the black one on the top lashes and the blue one on the bottom lashes, along with some of the new liners. There's a bit of a purple one, a bit of a black one, a brown one. Doesn't really do much for me, so I'm not gonna reach for that one today, but I will incorporate it in like future videos. But yeah, the purple and the black on the bottom, topped off with the blue mascara, and then the black one on the top lashes. Again, the brown mascara isn't gonna do anything for me today, so I'm not gonna use that. But I'm going to use a very little of the black mascara just because I don't like my lashes being weighed down by mascara as I'm putting on falsies. So I'm just gonna do all of that and then we'll be back to talk lip. Okay, so first impressions on this wand. I really like the shape of it. I hope you can actually see it. But just the way it's shaped is so absolutely perfect for like hugging the lashes, so I'm really into that. I love that it's thin at the front, so I don't have to worry about like poking into my eye, as well as I can get the outer corner of my eye on the side. So I'm really into this, and it's separating them really well, which is what you want underneath falsies, because there's nothing worse than having clumpy lashes underneath your false ones and then they start poking you in the eye. It's like, it'll drive you nuts. So I really love the wand on this. The formula isn't my favorite. I prefer the I think it's a golden packaging one. That is my favorite formula just because it's so thick, but I really do enjoy the wand on this. So I have my lashes on and I have a couple of thoughts. The mascara works amazingly on the top lashes, but it's just a little too big for the bottom ones for you to like comfortably use it. So you can make it work, obviously, as I have done, but it is like a little bit tricky, so you have to be really careful not to get any smudges underneath your eyes. I love these pencils. They're literally like crayons, so they go on so easily. I don't even actually have to touch my eye to like get them on. There's no real tugging or anything like that. Pigmentation is amazing, but I don't think they work well on top of each other. So the black definitely overwhelms the purple and you can barely see it. So yeah, take that as you will. Now we can get into the lippies. And I'm literally only doing this video because I feel like there are people who would be interested in seeing what these colors actually look like once they're swatched. So I'm going to do a hand swatch of all these lipsticks. These are the new Maybelline Matte Ink Superstay shades. I hope this is actually showing them to you a bit better. Their names are the front, but I don't think you'll be able to see that. So yeah, I'm just going to swatch them in order from 60. I think 60 is the lightest one I have to 135 on the back of my hand. And then I'll do one on my lips. I feel like which shade would actually go with this lip look, because I feel like the safest choice is just to go really neutral with it, but I kind of want to have fun with it as well. So oh, purple. So I can try this really light purple. This is 95 Visionary. So let me do a lip swatch of that right now. This formula, by the way, is absolutely amazing. It lasts forever on your lips. It does go on like a little bit sticky, but then once it dries down, it's just absolute perfection. So I am obsessed. And this color is such a nice, like, different kind of cool tone, like grayish purple, that I really like. So I'm very curious to see what it looks like on my lips. So before I hear anything crazy in the comments, can we talk about personal preference and how I really like my lips looking like as big and juicy as possible? And this kind of white base lipstick does help with that, but putting a liner around it obviously is a more logical thing to do. But I just want to do a lip swatch so you can actually see what it looks like without the help basically. So I really like this, but I know like if I walk out with it, everyone will be like, oh, you look like you have icing on your lips. So I wouldn't do it for society, but for me, I am really actually I'm really into this. I feel like it complements the eye look really well. So now I'm going to go in with my brow pencil and just sort of tone down the edges. So I'm just going to attempt to make this look a little bit more presentable, and then do a hand swatch of all the other shades on my hand, because if you want to see a dedicated lip swatch video, like I said on Instagram, let me know, because those are so much work, like putting this on, taking it off, fixing my foundation, putting on another one, and there are 11 shades here. So if you want to see that, let me know. Thumbs up this video, comment down below, however it is you want to inform me, let me know, because if you don't tell me, then I won't put them on my actual lips. I'll just do a hand swatch and we'll keep it moving. But if you do want to see a dedicated video, let me know and I'll get that up ASAP, basically. First of all, if the light keeps changing, I apologize for that. I do have my skylight finally, and the sun keeps coming in and out, so yeah, that's happening. This is what I've done to like make it a bit more presentable. I did go in with a combination of my brow pencil and the new brown eyeliner from Maybelline. The other shades are right here. I think I'll just like screenshot this and then like have the names on the screen so you can get to know exactly which shades these are. This light purple one that I'm wearing is 95 Visionary, so you can see the difference between how it looks on my hand versus me making it work on my lips, which is why I say again, if you want lip swatches, let me know. I will do that for you. If you don't want them, I will not put them up. So I love the new shades. I feel like they are different enough from the originals to still like be a valid addition, especially something like this. I have wanted a pumpkin shade in my life for the longest time, so I'm so excited to finally have that. Okay, so it's about 4:30 p.m. and I think I finished doing my makeup at around 1 p.m. So I've had this on my face for 4.5 hours, and I feel like the difference as it is now is as much as it's going to be throughout the day. So I feel like this is kind of the perfect place to like come in and do the final check-in, so you can see what I mean when I say that baking might actually be necessary even if you have dry under eyes, you know. So we're pretty close. Hopefully I'm in focus, but we are pretty close, so hopefully you can see what I'm talking about when I say the creasing and the messing up of my under eye in this area. In this side that I did less powder is so much worse than it is on this side where I did a bit of baking. Yes, the line is still defined and the line is still a bit messy, but it's nowhere near as like smudged and moved around as this section. And you saw that I actually went in with a reasonable amount of powder on this eye, so it's not like I was nimmaing it powder and then it decided that it's just gonna smudge everywhere. So I feel like you kind of have to go over and above and like excessive with it to really dry out the product to make sure it doesn't move around. Because when I checked before I sat down to film, this side of my eye just has a very defined line, but the product that has shifted from it is so much less than on this side where it has just completely become a mess. And this is literally what I have to deal with every single time I do my makeup. So I walk around with a skin tone concealer and a little brush so that I can just touch it up as I'm like out and about. But I'm really glad to find like a more permanent solution, because even looking at the rest of my face, this side is definitely still a little bit more glowy than this side. This one still feels like completely matte and like really locked in, whereas this side feels like if I put my finger I might get a smudge out, or like it might start moving and like shifting a little, which makes me actually look at the side of my nose, and no, the foundation has stayed in place. So that shows you the foundation itself is actually pretty damn good, because you can see like on my face it's a lot more glossy than it is right here where I put in the extra powder. So this part of my face still looks like fresh and flawless and perfect, whereas the rest of it kind of looks like it's a bit more worn. So yeah, the more powder you put, the longer your makeup will stay absolutely perfect. And you can see, even without me making any faces to really emphasize the difference, you can see that the darkness underneath my eye here is definitely more prominent just because of the smudging, versus on this side everything still just looks like it's in its place, it's not moving around, it's not going to let me down. I don't necessarily feel the need to touch up this side, whereas this one I would definitely have to work on it, because like if I laugh and close my eyes you can see what a hot mess it is, you know. So yeah, basically the point of this video was to play with a couple of new products, as well as to confirm basically what I've been suspecting, that even if you have dry skin, even if you have dry under eyes, baking is actually worth looking into. And you don't have to like pile and pile and pile on powder, but it is kind of worth it because it locks everything in place and makes it a lot less likely that things are gonna like shift and move around and whatever and embarrass you throughout the day. So yeah, I'm gonna end this very, very long video here. Thank you so much for watching. Thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Let me know what else you want to see in the comments down below. Be sure to subscribe, and I will see you in my next video.